It's time for a vacay. Most of us think of vacations as periods to relieve some of the stresses of everyday life, relax and switch off sipping a margarita by a hotel pool, a charming European city, or sunbathing on a sandy beach. There are some classic choices for vacay, but there are some people who find themselves in vacation spots that leave them wishing they could just go back to the office, or even wondering if they'll ever see home again. So if you've been wondering where not to go this summer vacation, here's the 10 most dangerous tourist destinations in the world. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe and click the notification bell for more amazing content. Let's begin. Number 10. Yosemite Half Dome. Yosemite Half Dome in California is world-famous Yosemite National Park. There lies a strange formation of rock known as the Half Dome made of pure granite. This hemisphere measures 8,800 feet high and is one of the most sought-after challenges for hikers visiting the park. It was believed that no human could ever make it to the top, but today hundreds of people climb the Half Dome every day, and metal handrails have been installed to make things a little less hazardous. But in spite of this, the Half Dome has been responsible for 240 emergency incidents and 12 deaths in recent years. In 2006, a woman from New Mexico plunged to her death, falling 300 feet. In 2018, a 29-year-old man also fell to his death on the Half Dome. Authorities in Yosemite have been investigating what might be the cause of all these accidents. Some have pointed to the weather, while others have suggested overcrowding has led to climbers slipping off. Another study pointed out that permits might be to blame, as climbers feel that the permit gives them only one chance to make it up there, so they're tempted to take greater risks. Whatever the case, the Half Dome is one risky milestone any hiker could take on. Number 9. Praia de Boa Viagem. This is one of Brazil's many beautiful beaches sitting on the northeastern coast of the country. The warm waters are very appealing to humans, but they're also very appealing to sharks. This has become one of the most dangerous places to swim in the world. In 2012, an 18-year-old man became the 56th shark attack victim on the beach in 20 years when his body was found in the water. Shark attacks worldwide have a fatality rate of about 16%. In these waters, the death rate is 37%, with bull and tiger sharks acting especially aggressively towards bathers. Brazilian authorities have launched investigations into the cause of these attacks, with concerns. The sharks, due to habitat changes and being forced by humans, are now living closer to bathing areas and are developing a taste for human flesh. Prior to 1992, the beach had no more shark attacks than any other beach, which gives into these sharks' inhabited waters. For now, this is one place where you might want to stay in the water no more than ankle deep and watch out for any fins poking above the surface. Number 8. Cliffs of Moher. The Cliffs of Moher are in the Republic of Ireland. The cliffs are one of Ireland's most popular tourist destinations and attract as many as 1 million visitors a year. They stretch 9 miles and at their highest point are more than 700 feet high. Certain areas of the cliffs have been fenced off, and rangers patrol the area to try and keep people away from the most dangerous parts, where rock slides can be a serious hazard. However, it is since the rise of the selfie stick that the cliffs have become truly dangerous. The combination of walking backward toward a cliff edge while focusing all your attention on the most Insta-friendly tourist snap has led to several people falling to their deaths, including a 26-year-old Indian man who was found on the rocks below with a selfie stick in hand after backpedaling a little too close to the edge. So if these spectacular clips are on your bucket list, just try to make sure they're not the last thing on it. Number 7. Hawaii Volcano. Hawaii is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the United States, and the tourism industry accounts for over 20% of the state's economy, with more than 9 million visitors every year. However, when we learn that Hawaii is made up from things that seem little more dangerous than what you might imagine. The island of Hawaii is in fact 5 separate volcanoes, and 2 of them remain active. They produce lava flows which can be highly dangerous for visitors if they find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. In 1993, a photographer and several other tourists were killed, and in 2002 tourists were killed by a toxic cloud which is blown out of volcanoes near 2 kilowatts. Others have succumbed to sulfur dioxide emissions in the area, and in 2018 a tourist had his leg broken by a lava splatter which was generated from the volcano in the same year. A large steam vent blew into the sea, hitting a tourist boat, injuring 23 people aboard. So while Hawaii is an awesome place to visit, just remember that it's made of literal volcanoes and massive rivers of explosive molten lava. You know, kinda dangerous. Number 6. KOKODA and Black Cat's Trail. The Black Cat Trail runs from a small village on the coast of Papua New Guinea, heading and landing to a township takes 4 or 5 days through mountains and leech-infested swamps. The track is already considered one of the toughest in the world, and it was described by Lonely Planet as being suitable only for masochists and Israeli paratroopers. It began back in the 1920s as prospectors headed towards Wau. After hearing of gold in the area, a gold mine was eventually established near Wau in the 1930s. Hollywood superstar ERROL Flynn made the trek as a young man and described attacks from snakes, leeches, and ambushing angry natives. These days it seems not a whole lot has changed, although it has become a popular trekking destination for people from all over the world. In 2013, an Australian group was ambushed by the mountain people who killed 3 of their native guides. They sing, dance, play drums, apparently over pay dispute between the highland and lowland people. Although none of the foreign trekkers were hurt, this is nonetheless one stressful trail walk. Number 5. Mount Washington. Mount Washington in New Hampshire stands over 6,200 feet tall and is the highest peak in the northeastern United States. That said, this is far from being one of the tallest mountains in the US, and Mount Washington is sometimes classified as a small mountain. It may be small, but it's also known as the most dangerous small mountain in the world. The mountain boasts the highest wind velocity ever recorded by a surface weather station, with gusts of 231 miles per hour recorded here in April 1934. That's some serious wind, and literally will blow climbers away. 150 fatalities have been recorded on the peak. Since records began in 1849, many are due to hypothermia since it snows year-round, and the cold combined with wind is a recipe for disaster. Bear in mind that with just 60 miles per hour winds, hiking becomes impossible, and it means that even recently climbers have succumbed to this brutal mountain. Paying close attention to the weather and being sure to bring warm clothes is probably the best way to tackle Mount Washington. The last guy who tried in shorts and t-shirt never made it back. Number 4. Bikini Atoll. Bikini Atoll is part of the Marshall Islands and would be the perfect place to relax and unwind. This place developed into a beautiful and fascinating place with rich history and Pacific culture. Eventually, European explorers showed up and claimed the islands, and soon Christian missionaries followed. And finally, the US claimed the islands from Japan following World War II. Sounds like an idyllic place to escape the modern world, put on a grass skirt and enjoy a dream vacation, right? The only problem is that Bikini Atoll is now entirely uninhabited for the first time in 3,000 years, to incredibly high levels of radiation poisoning, having possessed the islands just 2 years before the US moved to the islanders off the Paradise and spent the next 12 years relentlessly exploding nuclear weapons. The thing that makes the beauty fade is that when this was the base for 23 US atomic bomb tests in the 20th century, ruining the Virgin Island. In the 1970s, they moved 3 families of islanders back to see how they would react to the island, which was surely by now practically glowing bright green, and they quickly discovered they had extremely high levels of radiation-induced chemicals in their blood. Once more, visits can be arranged, although normally it's restricted to scientific and military personnel. If you go, you better make sure your sunblock has an SPF in the thousands. Number 3. Elephant Kingdom Park. The Elephant Kingdom Park in Chonburi, Thailand was famous among locals for one very special attraction, being able to go out and feed live and wild crocodiles. The idea was simple enough: bundle a couple of dozen adrenaline-seeking tourists who went out into the crocodile-infested waters with only the barrier being a flimsy case. So everybody gets to go throwing a piece of meat into the crocs' mouths. The prospect of such an easy meal tended to make the crocodiles hyper-aggressive and competitive. Of course, to the average croc, a live human and a pre-killed animal is much the same, so these thrill-seekers were one slip away from becoming the main event themselves. A Western tourist ended up on the ride and posted his experience on social media, which then went viral and caused the Thai government to step in and ban this crazy ride. Number 2. Mount Hua. Mount Hua is a 7,000-foot tall mountain located in China, Shanghai province, 90 miles east of Yan. It's one of China's 5 great mountains and has long been considered to be of important religious significance. It has also long been considered to be one of the most dangerous mountains on Earth, with reports that it's responsible for as many as 100 deaths every year. The ascent of the mountain is by way of the plank walk, which consists of a few thin planks bolted to the mountainside, leading all the way up to the famous shrine. Designed to only be accessible to Buddhist or terrorist hermits, modern young Chinese have begun attempting to test their strength of will and hiking skills on this deadly and ancient trail. That is, until you lose your footing on one of those tiny rickety planks and find yourself very alone as you plunge 7,000 feet back down the mountain. Number 1. Shenzhen Safari Park. Shenzhen Safari Park in the sprawl of the Wuyuan district of the Chinese megacity Shenzhen is an income-generating site. A huge 158-acre safari park nestled at the foot of the city's Green Mountains, which sit to the north. The safari park holds more than 10,000 animals spread over 300 species. The animals here are often including some of the rarest in the world, such as the giant panda, golden monkey, Magellan penguin, giraffe, zebra, Asian elephants, rhinos and red-crowned cranes. The park is also home to a variety of lions and tigers. And here's the dangerous part. These animals are not in cages. Visitors are free to tour the park in their cars, riding among lions and tigers who are pretty much the same as they would be in the wild. The animals also perform shows and guests can enjoy motorcycle and car stunt shows, but all this is not without risk. A landscaper working at the park scaled the fence and let himself into the tiger hill to pull up a few more weeds, only to find himself mauled to death by the tigers who live there. The tiger keeper at the park saw the incident and threw firecrackers at the tigers in the hope of distracting them, but it was too late. The poor worker died of his injuries. If you visit this safari park, be sure to stay on the right track and don't dare leave your car if you know what's good for you. Which of these places floors you? Would you love to visit despite the danger lying within? What's the most dangerous thing chasing a vacation? Let us know in the comments below. And on your next vacation, live a little, chase down that thrill. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.